back here on the MPBA on CoachesAid.com. We come to you from the beautiful Ray and Joan Kroc Center in Chicago. The St. Louis Riversharks taking on the Chicago Force. It's the home opener of the Force. Alvin Washington alongside Terry Rutan. As we come to the second half, the third quarter will start with the Force up 50-48. And what was important coming out of that second quarter, the Force were down by as many as 11 at one time. They used an 8-0 run to get themselves back in, and then just some absolutely great play by their leading scorer, Tremel Adams, who was hitting it from just about everywhere. Got them the lead that they've been able to maintain the last few minutes.
Well, yeah, Tremel Adams led them with 13 in the first half, but kind of balanced throughout. 9 from Warren, 8 apiece from Pryor and McDonald. And for the Riversharks, off the bench production from Kenny McGowan with 13, and Hicks got to the line, 5 out of 8 free throws for James Hicks. Let's see if they can get Hogg and DeWitt back on the offensive side of the ball.
Long deuce to kick things off by Travell Amix, the 6'4 guard out of Purdue Calumet, one of the NAIA schools here in the area, 52-48. Keith DeWitt's back on the floor, but he is playing with 3 fouls, and now Derek McDonald not only picks up a foul, he comes up gimpy at the outset as well.
Starting lineups back on the court for both teams.
It's going to be important for the Riversharks to regain their focus that got them that early double-digit lead, because they were able to hit them from anywhere and everywhere.
And also, Brandon Hogg was able to drive to the basket and get some easy looks, or at least scores.
Lee can't get that one. Back the other way comes Amix. Now it's Smith with the basketball. That's Darius Smith out of UConn. Smith in the deep left wing. He's got Amix again. Amix to McDonald, backs in against DeWitt. Fade away, no. Tip in, nope, that's a jump ball. Once it gets lodged inside the rim and the backboard, that's a jump ball, and that comes to center court.
Well, that is not terribly infrequent, but I think that's one of the first times I've ever seen a tip be tipped into the wedgie, as Ronnie Caldwell went up there to tip it and put it right in between the iron and the glass.
That's what we call way too much oops. All right, Ronnie Elisiak, our lead official, trying to get everybody set here in the Bulls logo. And here we go. The tip comes to the Riversharks. It is Polk. They'll go for Leak on the right baseline. He gives it to Evans. Stripped away. Stay right there. Good defense by Tremel Adams. I'm starting to see a few more active hands by the Force here in these last go-rounds.
A lot of reaching, though. I mean, that's great when you get the ball or they don't call it, but if you start to make that a habit defensively, that's going to end up causing some more foul problems.
On the inbound to Leak. Fakes the three, starts to drive, trying to get it up around Caldwell. DeWitt looked like they were going to go to travel, and Caldwell will snag the rebound. Amix back for the Force in the red. Left baseline is Jason Warren, a recent pickup from Missouri Western. He step backs in. Amix have it. Amix gives it back out to Smith. Smith baseline drive, almost a three-point play. And now you're starting to see a little bit more aggression out of the Force players here as they try to force the issue.
Nice drive there by Smith.
Darius Smith with 5 points from the first half. The 6'4 guard out of UConn. First of 2 is up and good. 10:30 to play here for the third quarter.
Now, Alvin, I couldn't hear and see who they called that last foul on, and certainly it wasn't Hogg, because that would have been 4, and he probably would have found his way back to the bench.
Back end's good. We'll try our best to confirm that. And look, meanwhile, it's a 54-48 Chicago advantage. Dwayne Polk with the basketball, the veteran, who has probably seen his share of leagues across this country. Here comes a long three coming up from Brandon Hogg. Not there. Rebound to DeWitt. DeWitt, hot potato to Leak. He'll get fouled by Warren.
Really nice job by DeWitt, not giving up on that rebound. He was able to just touch it, and then once he tapped it, able to chase it down. Leak finds some contact, and now he's going to take the shot.
Lee can't make that shot from 10 out. The last foul was on Warren, his first. Back come the Force. Left baseline, three, almost. Rebound, it's a foul. It's a loose ball foul on DeWitt.
That'll be 4 on Keith DeWitt.
That's key. That is very key because a lot of damage done by Chicago was with DeWitt on the bench.
And DeWitt only had 1 bucket. That came very early when the Riversharks were rolling offensively. Even though they only had 1 bucket, they were running their offense through him. Once he went out of the lineup, the Riversharks were struggling.
Steele, near Steele. Oh man, Caldwell goes up. He'll draw the foul, and if that's on DeWitt, that's 5.
It is.
Ooh, huge, very huge, and this is what we were looking for out of Ronnie Caldwell when the Steam played him. A much more aggressive presence in the paint. First of 2, however, is no good for the 7-foot grad from Illinois State, who, by the way, just lost the FCS football championship to North Dakota State 29-27 down in Frisco, Texas. But what a run for the Redbirds this year.
Well, a great season for them to get all the way to the championship game, as that was not a great free throw.
That ball didn't hit any rim, and that's a violation. So nothing and 1 on that. That's, again, nothing and 1 because that second shot does not count. So the Riversharks with a chance to chop this down to 4. Around the screen, here's a drive by Hogg. They'll go inside for Hicks. Hicks is blocked away. Hot potato. They'll get it back out to Polk. He'll go right wing 3, no. Rebound, who's got it?
Nice play there by Evans as he was able to bounce it off of Caldwell, but they're going to give it back to Chicago.
And that's a great call. I'm going to tell you why. Terry Evans, before he could get the ball off, oh boy, this is what Darius Smith didn't want to do. There's a slam by Leak. Make that Evans. That's the one thing the Force didn't want to do. But the reason they called it off of Evans because he didn't throw the ball before he came down with the feet. Way to the right baseline. Here comes a long one from Adams. That's not there. Rebound, who's got it? It is Dejari Nelson. Now a long deuce from Smith. That's not there either. They're settling for those long jump shots again. Now here's a drive to the cup. It's Polk in the paint, off glass. No, Polk again. Nope, it is. Oh, they had the fast break. Quickly down. Nope. Saw that one too late. Hicks gives it off to Hogg. Hogg bringing it back out. Boy, topsy-turvy there with 10 to shoot, 8:15.
Boy, I thought he should have hit Terry Leak when he had him. Leak, they need to get him going offensively. He's only got 6 points in that first half, and he's coming in average of 25.5, shooting the ball really well. I think it's just important for the Riversharks to find some more scoring because DeWitt's going to be on the bench for most of the second half.
By the way, Dejari Nelson picks up that foul for the Sharks. That's his for the Force, I should say. That's his first. Here's a drive by Hogg. Hogg kicks it up underneath. This is Leak. Yes. 54-52. The Sharks are hanging in there.
Well, they're actually the league leaders at this early point in the season. They have with their 2-0 record.
And Boyd, I have the feeling here that Travell Amix needs to sit down for a moment and get his head together because for whatever reason, either he's going off the cuff or he's just not getting into the flow of the offense because that was almost his 3rd turnover this quarter. Smith has it. Smith going in, fouled on the way up. The foul this time is on Taurus Roundtree. Already 4 team fouls. And right now, Darius Smith clutching his right leg. Let's take a short break here. 7:44 for the third quarter. 54 for the Chicago Force, 52 for the St. Louis Riversharks. We're back at the Kroc Center in Chicago, the MPBA on CoachesAid.com.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Just keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive.
And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
With your attention, please. You can watch live streaming.
It's a great thing. It was fun yesterday because we're up in Nevada City, and so I was able to watch the game.
Excited to have this online, and so they can view it now and later, and people that can't be here. It's been a really cool thing.
It's a great experience. Anybody who's not had the opportunity to be here at the game, this brings the game to you.
On CoachesAid.com. That's CoachesAid.com.
This is my son, Brett Finbloom, student athlete, community volunteer, college freshman. Ever heard of him? It was all there in his obituary. Brett died after just 2 hours of drinking. Not in a fall, not in a car crash. He drank too much, too fast. Brett died at a party from alcohol poisoning. Friends watched. A few tried to help, but no one called 911 until it was too late, afraid they'd be arrested for drinking.
If medical help is needed because of alcohol, call 911 immediately.
Stay until help arrives and cooperate. Minors who call for medical care and assist police cannot be charged with underage drinking.
It's Indiana's lifeline law. Make the call, get help, save a life.
Alcohol makes smart teens do stupid things. Stop it from becoming deadly. Make the call, get help, save a life.
Back here on the MPBA on CoachesAid.com. 54 for the Chicago Force, 52 for the St. Louis Riversharks. We do have 7:44 remaining for the third quarter. Alvin Washington alongside Ted Rattan. And a great sight to see Darius Smith of Chicago, which went up for a tough shot, managed to walk off under his own power, and he will remain in the game.
Yeah, it looked like it was just a cramp. So they went ahead and took the full timeout, accepting the timeout to keep him on the court.
And that's a smart move by Rick Pryor. Very smart move. Because that's one of those loopholes that you see in the timeout rules. Back end, good. 55-52. We'll see the debut of, is that McWhorter? It looks like McWhorter getting ready to come in for a little bit. Here's a drive. This is a floater up for Hogg. That's no good. It's a rebound snag by Antoine Ware. He had a nice defensive first half. Aaron Pryor with the basketball, looking for a screen from De'Ari Nelson, who goes to the left wing for Smith. Roundtree in his face. Smith starts his drive, stopped at the baseline. Back up top. It is Pryor guarded with 5 to shoot. Pryor puts up an 18-footer. No. Ball tapped away. It'll go to St. Louis. It is Sam McWhorter that returns to the lineup for the Force. Kenny McGowan, who was also key in that late second quarter surge for the Riversharks, he'll come back for Dwayne Pope.
Yeah, McGowan, a big first half as he led the Riversharks with 13 off the bench in about 10 minutes of playing time.
And a lot of that was off of defense, too. Gets a drive to the baseline. Reverse layup is good for Terry Leak. 55-54.
Again, I think they're going to try to get Leak more involved here in the second half. He's now finally in double figures with 10.
6:45 to play for the third. McWhorter deep to the right baseline. Driving all the way up. Kicks it out. Left baseline. Here comes three for Pryor. No. Tip in. Yes! For Ware. And now an out-of-bounds violation on St. Louis as it's a 57-54 advantage. And Rick Pryor says, all right, time to put on the afterburners. Let's go. Terry Evans back in. He'll sit down James Hicks. Hicks had 5 in the first half. So the inbound comes to McWhirter. McGowan all over him like a cheap suit. McWhirter, nice drive. He'll get fouled. 6:26 to play for the third. McGowan his second.
And that will send the Force to the line with more than half of this third period remaining. Now, is that a good or is that a bad? The way they shot free throws, they were 7 for 13 in the first half.
Well, we'll see at this particular juncture. Is now timeout called. It's timeout called by the...
Could be a media timeout.
Actually, it is. 57-54, the Force lead. The River Sharks are back after this. The MPBA on CoachesAid.com.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Just keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive. And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
Back here on the MPBA on CoachesAid.com. 57 for the Chicago Force, 54 for the St. Louis Riversharks.
Well, Alvin, one of the keys, as we talked about, was in the first half with Keith DeWitt sitting a lot with 3 fouls. He picked up those 2 quick fouls. He had some foul problems in last week's second ball game. In the opener, though, he was dominant. He had 30 points on 13 out of 19 shooting, 11 rebounds, and really the inside force for the River Sharks. And he's going to be sitting a lot of this contest.
First of 2 is good. That wound up being it looked like that wound up being the media timeout. And a lucky break for Sam McWhirter out of Malcolm X College, the 6-foot guard, making the most of his first, and the second one was splashed there, 59-54. This represents the biggest lead for the Force today. The River Sharks were up by as much as 19-8 to start the game. Here's a nice drive to the baseline by Brandon Hogg.
Hogg had 9 in that first quarter to get the River Sharks out to that fast start. His first bucket since.
Pryor with the basketball and an offensive foul on McWhirter. An illegal screen they'll call it, so McWhirter will pick up his first foul. Oh, it's his third foul.
I think they gave that one to Nelson on the screen. They had 2 hands going up, and I was pretty sure it was on Najari Nelson.
Okay, so it is Nelson. They'll call him for his third. Here is Hogg. Hogging the ball again. No pun intended. Halfway home here in the third quarter. 59-56. Force lead the River Sharks. That was an ugly pass. They were trying to find Leak. I think Leak mistimed his jump. 5:49 to play here for the third. And
it was definitely a mistiming, whether it was the jump or the pass. They didn't connect. And Leak was he wanted it down low because he had the shorter McWhirter on him.
And McGowan behind his head. Ooh, that's a basket interference. Definite basket interference. Good call by Ron Elysiak. Put the 2 in. That's now 59-58. You cannot do that with the basketball in the rim. Diari Nelson should know that playing at the Division I level. A feed to the right baseline. This is Ware backing in. Ware loses the basketball. Saved by Adams. He'll put it up and knock it down.
Boy, Adams is just so impressive offensively.
Roundtree right back at you with a good feed from Hogg. 61-60. This is going to be another one of those back and forth battles in the long-standing rivalry between Chicago and St. Louis. Adams right back at you again. Offensive foul.
Yeah, Adams, a little out of control that time, and I think Coach Rick Pryor might want to talk about this one.
Second foul on Tramel Adams. And we have timeout by the Force. Yeah, I don't think Rick Pryor liked that sequence at all. Let's take a short break. Chicago 61, St. Louis 60, 5:03 in the third, the MPBA on CoachesAid.com.
With your attention, please. You can watch live streaming.
It's a great thing. It was fun yesterday because we're up in Nevada City, and so I was able to watch the game.
Excited to have this online, and so they can view it now and later, and people that can't be here. It's been a really cool thing.
It's a great experience. Anybody who's not had the opportunity to be here at the game, this brings the game to you.
On CoachesAid.com. That's CoachesAid.com.
Back here on the MPBA on CoachesAid.com. 61-60, the Chicago Force lead the St. Louis Riversharks. 5:03 here in the third quarter as we continue play here from the Kroc Center in Chicago. The home opener for both the Chicago Force, and coming up at 6:05, the Windy City Groove. There's a drive to the bucket, and new man on the floor. Nope, that's still Brandon Hogg. Tramel Adams picks up his third foul.
Well, Brandon Hogg starting to become a little more aggressive. The players that the River Sharks really need to step up are Leak and Hogg. They've each responded with 4 here in the third period.
That first one will tie us up at 61 all. 4:53 for the third quarter. Back in coming up. Back end will rim out. Antoine Ware with the rebound. He'll give it now to Darius Smith. McGowan in his face. He's got a double team. Feed down to McDonald. McDonald fades away from 10. That's not there. Rebound, who's got it? Hot potato, who's got it? It is Adams in the paint. Got blocked away. Gets it back. Puts it up again. Yes! Boy, tough play by Tramel Adams out of Robert Morris, Chicago. And that's been one of the better NAIA programs over the last few years. An offensive foul on Terry Leak.
Leaks has not been happy with the officiating in this ball game.
I tell you, when you come to Chicago, and me being a high school official at that, these 3 here are some of the best in the business in Elysiak, Sykes, and Ashley. They've been through many wars.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely great officials. Nice shot there by Smith. They're excellent officials. Sometimes it's the frustration of not getting things going your way, and that could be why Terry Leak's a little upset. I mean, he's averaging 25 and a half. He's only got 10.
Sometimes you have to play through those types of situations. That's how the Chicago Bulls, as evidenced by the 6 banners that you see to our right, that's why they got those. They were able to play through situations like that, because you're not going to get a great set of officials every night.
Well, and this is a good set of officials, and yet whatever a call is made or not made, usually somebody's not happy. I mean, that's just the nature of basketball.
It is what it is. Long air ball brought to the hands of Warren. Now here comes Amick's long deuce. Oh, man. But it is Adams that picks it up. Adams, wait a minute. We've got a what?
The shot clock wasn't reset, or it did reset when it should not have. Back-to-back air balls. I wonder if somebody opened the door somewhere, because,
wow,
my goodness, those last 2 shots weren't close.
Woo, man. It's already cold outside as it is.
Yeah, shut the doors.
The front one at that. Back to play here, 15 to shoot. 3:54 for the third. 65-61 Chicago. It's Antoine Ware backing in at the left low post, turning around. High one. He won't get the bucket, but he will draw 2 more shots. And Antoine Ware, I must say, is slowly but surely becoming one of the best young big men in this league.
He's a load down there. I mean, he's 6'6", but he's pretty healthy.
Second foul on Terry Leak of the Riversharks. Antoine Ware out of Tuskegee, 6'6". A Division II guy, as a matter of fact. First of 2 is good. He was, no doubt, he played on one of those big-time SIAC championship teams from the last 8 seasons, and that's been a program, the Tuskegee Golden Tigers, that has ruled the Gulf South when it comes to Division II basketball. Matter of fact, their best finish this past season, tried a Division II Elite Eight.
And sometimes people might think they hear Division II or Division III or NAIA. There are good ball players everywhere. They might be at that school for a reason other than just how they play basketball. No call as Evans makes it.
Nice pass from Terry Leak. Evans with the bucket, 67-63. One of the most notable ones, try Dennis Rodman. They'll say everything in the book about him. The one thing they never say, 1984 NAIA Division I All-American. And that's documented. They never called him an All-American from his college days, and I find that interesting.
Terry Porter, Division III.
Mm-hmm.
National champion All-American.
Wisconsin Stevens Point. That's where, let me get this right, Bo Ryan got his start at. Okay, and now we have clock issues again. While we're sitting here, 67-63, Chicago leading St. Louis, 3:10 here in the third quarter. Here's another name that might register with some fans of the pros. Sedale Threat, the old LA Laker, the same NAIA All-American team that Dennis Rodman was on in 1984, he was on. You know, it really doesn't matter. There's a drive to the bucket, almost a three-point play, and they'll draw the foul, I believe, on Pryor, and it is on Pryor. Third on Aaron Pryor.
Now, we're getting down late in the ball game. 15 minutes left in regulation in this contest. Let's look at conditioning, and that is one of the factors in any basketball game. St. Louis came here with only 9 players today. And DeWitt has had to sit most of the time.
Oh, there's a near steal. Jump ball, and we'll take a break. And I believe we're supposed to take a break here. I think Ron Eliziak doesn't see us.
Well, that should come from the scores.
I was hoping that would come from the scores table. Violation, and now we should get it. We've got an immediate timeout right now. They still don't see it.
Oh, that's okay.
Well,
we'll play on.
Play on, player. Here's a drive to the cup. Here's a, what the heck was that? Antoine Ware almost got the rebound there. And some swinging of the elbows by Terry Leak. Man, oh man. And Terry Leak looking at Tramel Adams like, bro, you better move. Now we'll take a break. Hopefully cooler heads can prevail here.
Good time for the media timeout right there.
2:49 for the third. Good one here in Chicago. The Chicago 467, the St. Louis Riversharks 64. This is the MPBA on CoachesAid.com.
This is my son, Brett Finbloom, student athlete, community volunteer, college freshman. Ever heard of him? It was all there in his obituary. Brett died after just 2 hours of drinking. Not in a fall, not in a car crash. He drank too much, too fast. Brett died at a party from alcohol poisoning. Friends watched. A few tried to help, but no one called 911 until it was too late, afraid they'd be arrested for drinking.
If medical help is needed because of alcohol, call 911 immediately.
Stay until help arrives and cooperate. Minors who call for medical care and assist police cannot be charged with underage drinking.
It's Indiana's lifeline law. Make the call, get help, save a life.
Alcohol makes smart teens do stupid things. Stop it from becoming deadly. Make the call, get help, save a life.
Back here on coverage of the MPBA on CoachesAid.com. Coming up tomorrow, 2 great games down in Central Illinois. We've got the Bloomington Flex, who had their 24-game win streak snapped at the hands of the St. Louis Riversharks. They'll take on the Gateway Steam. That's at 2:05 The Riversharks will be down the road at Champaign to take on the Swarm. Yours truly will be joined by Scott Beatty, who will have the call. That's at 3 o'clock, and it's all on the MPBA.com. 2 free throws for Terry Leak. Knocks those in. We're all in the penalty. 67-66 in favor of the Chicago Force, who are in the red. It's Aaron Pryor trying to move it against Roundtree. Now, Adams. Baseline aware. Back to Warren. Yes.
Nice passing, interior passing there from Ware to the cutting Warren.
69-66. Hogg back the other way. Hogg starts his drive. Hogg is fouled by Pryor. That's his 4th, I believe.
This is Hogg's game, trying to get to the bucket.
Nope, it's Pryor's 3rd. Pryor does pick up his 3rd foul. Brandon Hogg back for 2 more. First one's up. Good. Brandon Hogg out of Southern Indiana.
He and Keith DeWitt both played down at Southern Indiana. That's a Division II school out of Evansville. Very nice, a very competitive Division II school.
Back it's good. Evansville, Indiana, also home of the Evansville Aces of Division I in the Missouri Valley Conference. 69-68 after those 2 free throws. Force maintaining. Smith stops his dribble. Ware kicks it out to Pryor for 3. Nope. Battle for the ball. Ware picks it up.
And somehow they're going to call that one on Roundtree.
Yes, they are. But I tell you, Antoine Ware, this big man is putting in work.
And Roundtree says, he weighs a little more than I do. Come on, give me a break. I'm the one that ended up on the court.
A wise man told me you cannot officiate size. Position, position, position. And Antoine Ware, back to the line for 2 more, has understood that very well. First of 2 splash. 2 fouls, by the way, on Torres Roundtree. We'll see for the first time for Chicago, 33 Bandon Price out of Central State, 6', 6'4". Back end for Ware.
He was only 1 for 4 the first half. He's made all 4 here in the 3rd quarter.
71-68 in favor of the Force with 1:55 of the 3rd quarter. It's Hogg back the other way. Price in his face. Price gets trying to fight off a screen. We've got a foul on Ware.
Brandon Hogg does a great job of hesitation. He used the screen, hesitated like he was going to pass it, then created the contact. He pretty much drove right into Ware, knowing that Ware wasn't set, ready to take a charge, draws the contact, earns a trip to the line.
2nd on Ware, still in the penalty. Hogg for the first of 2, good. Brandon Hogg continuing to climb that ladder. He's now up to 16, 7 this quarter. Back in with 1:49 for the 3rd. Got it. 71-70. But I'll tell you, first one to blink will lose this game. Warren gets it now to Smith. Smith drives, kicks it over the left baseline. It's Adams. Adams crossing over for Pope. Adams gets it back with 15 to shoot. They'll go around the horn to Smith. Now this is Price. Price starts to drive. One-hand hook. Shot, no. Rebound, who's got it? It is Evans, excuse me. Now Roundtree flying through the lane. Offensive foul on the pass and crash. Wow, way to stand your ground, young man.
Torres Roundtree has had multiple turnovers today, trying to advance the ball in a hurry. That time out of control and delivering a pass that didn't even lead to a shot.
That's the 3rd foul on Roundtree. Timeout St. Louis. And now Al Grushkin trying to get his money's worth. We'll take a break. Chicago 71. St. Louis 70, 1:23 in the 3rd. It's the MPBA on CoachesAid.com.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive. And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
With your attention, please. You can watch live streaming.
It's a great thing. It was fun yesterday because we're up in Nevada City, and so I was able to watch the game.
Excited to have this online, and so they can view it now and later, and people that can't be here. It's been a really cool thing.
It's a great experience. Anybody who's not have the opportunity to be here at the game, this brings the game to you.
On CoachesAid.com. That's CoachesAid.com.
Back here on the MPBA on Coaches Aid, 71-70, the Chicago Force lead the St. Louis Riversharks. We have 1:23 to go for the third quarter. Alvin Washington with Ted Rattan. And Ted, we were talking during the break. There was an official that did ACC games for like 25 years, including 7 Final Fours, wound up losing his assignments because he made a racial slur at a former member of the board of directors of Wake Forest. That's a no-no.
Nice defensive help there. Evans came from behind to swat that shot from Nelson.
And now Evans makes a bad pass. It's Jayari Nelson that will pick up the steal.
Returns the favor.
Jason Warren will get it down line. Whoops. Where was that pass going? Boy, that'll make Rick Pryor's face turn red. Brandon Hogg with the basketball as we're underneath a minute, now 42 seconds. Backing in, what's up? We have a foul on Warren.
I think we got a defensive 3-second call right here, Alvin.
It is a defensive 3 seconds called by Ron Elysiak. You as a defensive player cannot guard a particular zone. So this will give Terry Leak out of Delta State, the Memphis, Tennessee native, 6'5.5", a chance to tie it up. Doesn't. 41.1 left. Now Delta State is also a pretty darn good Division II program.
Well, I'm sure they were when Terry Leak was there because he's a darn good player.
Foul called. That's going to be on Bandon Price. And that will send Hogg back to the line.
Hogg with 19 now. He had 9 in the first quarter. Picked up second and third fouls quickly at the end of the first, or in the second quarter, and had to sit. But now he has 10 here in the third quarter.
Actually looking at 8, now 9, with 39.3 left here in the third. All square at 71 now as Nelson and Warren sit down. Caldwell and McDonald back in for the Force in the red. This has been a pretty good game since that 8-0 run that got the Force back in this contest. Back in will give the Riversharks their first lead since the second quarter, 72-71. It is Darius Smith with the basketball. Smith double team, poked away, and here comes Mr. Terry Evans with a two-hand flush. You gotta keep your head on a swivel around these boys. And here they are again. Smith gets it now to Price. Price almost got that one taken away from him. Price gets it into McDonald. Fuller back, good.
They needed that.
74-73, St. Louis. Last 13 ticks. And now it's Price trying to get at Hogg. Hogg, oh yeah.
Not a smart foul there.
Two quick fouls on Price. And that'll give Hogg 2 more chances to push this league back to 3.
He's already 8 out of 10 from the line here in this quarter, along with 2 field goals.
You were talking about being aggressive. Brandon Hogg has been exactly that this quarter. The second half adjustments always come up here in this third quarter, and they stick. First of 2 here's good.
He's got 22 now in the game. 13 here in this quarter.
Sure about that?
Absolutely.
That's 11 there. That's 9 there.
That's.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Oh, I missed the other 2. I got those now.
2 field goals. So,
there we go.
76-73, Riversharks back on top.
That is indeed 22 points. Here's a 3 from Smith. No. The St. Louis Riversharks will go into the fourth quarter with their first lead in what has had to been eons. 76 for the Riversharks, 73 for the Force. Who will take this game to the winner's circle? You'll find out in a moment. The MPBA on CoachesAid.com.
This is my son, Brett Finbloom, student athlete, community volunteer, college freshman. Ever heard of him? It was all there in his obituary. Brett died after just 2 hours of drinking. Not in a fall, not in a car crash. He drank too much, too fast. Brett died at a party from alcohol poisoning. Friends watched. A few tried to help, but no one called 911 until it was too late, afraid they'd be arrested for drinking.
If medical help is needed because of alcohol, call 911 immediately.
Stay until help arrives and cooperate. Minors who call for medical care and assist police cannot be charged with underage drinking.
It's Indiana's lifeline law. Make the call, get help, save a life.
Alcohol makes smart teens do stupid things. Stop it from becoming deadly. Make the call, get help, save a life.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive. And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
This copyrighted broadcast of the Midwest Professional Basketball Association and CoachesAid.com may not be reproduced for any reason without express written consent. He is Ted Rutan. I'm Alvin Washington. We're kicking it live at the beautiful Kroc Center in Chicago. This one's going down to the wire here in this last 12 minutes. The St. Louis Riversharks trying to go 3-0. They're up 76-73 on the Chicago Force, who've had the lead for most of the middle two quarters. And there's a drive, a foul, and two more free throws for Terry Leak. Immediately, the Riversharks going into aggression.
Well, Alvin, in that third quarter, when DeWitt, and by the way, he is back on the court here to start this fourth with 5 fouls, as McDonald picked that one up. But what they did in the third quarter was Brandon Hogg became aggressive. They tried to get Leak more involved, and also Terry Evans. So those three have 15, 12, and 23 after kind of a slow second quarter.
First of two good for Terry Leak. Leak right now with 13. Back in 14, lead to 5. 78-73. Tremel Adams has the basketball. Deep pass, and that one out of bounds to St. Louis.
I think that was off Marvin Sykes.
and this is where Chicago's getting themselves in trouble right now. They're looking for the backhand rec league pass when they need to make the sure pass. From what I've seen out of this Riversharks team, they look more pro than Chicago. There's a drive by Polk. That's not there. The rebound, it is Darius Smith. Smith looking back, looking forward. Here is Adams, almost lost the basketball. Near steal, it is stolen. It's DeWitt with the nice layup, not there. He falls on his keister, and he travels. Good defense by Darius Smith.
Well, Keith DeWitt with a really nice steal, but was so anxious because he's been sitting on the bench most of this game. If he would have just taken his time, he's going to go up there and throw it down.
78-73. Darius Smith with the basketball across the timeline. Ooh, and then Amix almost lost that one. Amix doing him too much dribbling. And it's Ware, double team, starts his drive. In the free throw, laid it good!
Boy, nice body control there by Antoine Ware. His first basket of the game. He has 7 points.
78-75 in favor of the Riversharks. Leak gives it now to Hogg on the deep right wing, looking for the pick from Hogg. And now they'll double team the drive. There it is.
Great awareness. He saw the opening and no help coming over. Went ahead and took it right to the backboard.
Smith now gets it to Amix, 80-75 St. Louis. Amix starts his drive. Goes right baseline. Here comes Antoine Ware with the bump, the body not there, rebound the leak. Here comes St. Louis, spin move by Polk. Polk in the play, teardrop, no. Tip by DeWitt, no, foul call. 10-11 for regulation. And the foul is on Adams.
You know, Dwayne Polk might have got caught in the air right there, but he went ahead and put it up knowing that DeWitt was there to go ahead and clean up the miss. And DeWitt, boy, just hasn't been able to get into the flow of this game at all. Once he picked up those 2 quick fouls in the second quarter to have to go sit on the bench.
4th foul on Tramel Adams as Aaron Pryor comes back in for Chicago. Terry Evans also back in for St. Louis. He'll sit down Terry Leak. 10-11 here in the 4th quarter. Back in for DeWitt is good. 81-75. St. Louis had a lead as big as 11 at one time. They're inching their way back toward that way now. Oh, nice spin around a screen that time by Smith. And Roundtree. Good play by Adams, no call, let him play. Kick violation, stay right there at 19 seconds on the shot clock. 9:56 for regulation. Again, the Chicago Force trying to make too many rec league passes here.
Yeah, the defense has been pretty solid for St. Louis.
Oh, good shot that try by McDonald, but not able to put it down. And here comes Hogg. Hogg drives the lane. Yes, and the foul. Brandon Hogg has been the Hog. 26 for the veteran from Southern Indiana. 27, I should say. There we go.
Tell you what, when he sees an opening, he's got the confidence to take it right to the hole. Got the contact, count it, and put him on the line.
Another foul for McDonald is 3rd, and the free pass is good for Brandon Hogg. 28 game-high points. He really has put the team on his back here in the second half. 84-75 St. Louis, 9:35 for the game. Smith around a couple of screens. Pryor trying to drive left baseline, running 15-footer, not there. It's McDonald with the rebound. McDonald off glass, good.
Boy, McDonald with another nice play. He's come up with a couple of key baskets to stem the tide here for the Storm.
12
for the Force, excuse me.
12 for McDonald, 84-77 in favor of the Riversharks. Polk around a high post screen. Baseline J, not there. Rebound McDonald. Force is going to have to make stops and scores from here on out. Smith, deep bounce pass. It's McDonald on the baseline. He drives. Yes, and a foul! Big time for the kid from the south side. Derek McDonald with a beautiful drive to the right baseline. They're going to call the foul. It sounds like it's on Roundtree. McDonald will try to put this game at a 4-point lead.
Big back-to-back baskets by Derek McDonald.
8:54 for the 4th. Well, I tell you, if the action down the stretch is going to be this good, we're going to have a fun inaugural season in the MPBA.
Absolutely.
15 for McDonald, 84-80, 8:49 for regulation. Drive to the cup, Hogg again.
Wow. That's an even 30.
86-80 your score. McWarden hounded. That's to McDonald again. McDonald on the baseline, fade away. Got it! What a shot by McDonald on the left baseline. 86-82. This is going down to the wire, partner.
Absolutely. That's what we want to see. The fans come out here to see both teams put on a show, and right now McDonald and Hogg are the center of the show.
Hogg misses the long three.
McDonald wants it again, and Evans is going to get called.
Yep. That's going to be Evans. That's it. I believe that's his first. second foul on him.
Second, yep.
Second team foul on the Riversharks here. And it's a non-shooting foul, so Pryor will inbound to McWhorter. This is going to be fun, and McDonald and Evans are going at it. McDonald on the left baseline, back to McWhorter for three. Count it! Uh-oh! Somebody forgot to tell the Force the game was over. Shouts of defense here in the Kroc Center. Great crowd on hand for opening night. 86-84. They called that a 2. It's Polk that drives. That's no good. Caldwell with the rebound. Wow. McWhorter's clearing everybody out. 7.5 for regulation. McWhorter now has Amix. Amix with 8 to shoot. Long three, not even close. Not a good try there. Here comes Evans the other way. Yes, sir. Big shot for Evans.
And a great find by Dwayne Polk as he looked up quickly.
88-84 St. Louis. Coming up on 7 to play. Amix looking for somebody. He's got McWhorter inside. Steal. This is Hogg. He's got Lee with the jam. And gets in the face of McWhorter. 6:44. 90-84. 4 quick points by the Riversharks. They just will not let this lead go.
And very aggressive. They got the ball on the turnover and a rebound and turn them into easy baskets the other way, looking up the court.
McWhorter with 10 to shoot. Here is the big man. Caldwell, yes, and a foul! $90-86 your score. And nobody sees the timeout. We're trying to get. I'd say this is going to be an interesting bus to try and get these media timeouts in. But we're having a lot of fun. 90-86. 90-86 will stay at on the miss by Caldwell.
One person that is not having fun is Keith DeWitt as he is out for the game. His 6th foul.
Wow. Backing in. This is a fadeaway. Oh, boy. Tip it almost goes. Hot potato. Who's got it? It is Amix for Chicago. And they'll call timeout. 5:57 for the game. It's getting good here, folks. St. Louis 90. Chicago 86. Back in a flash. This is the MPBA on CoachesAid.com.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive. And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
With your attention, please. You can watch live streaming.
It's a great thing. It was fun yesterday because we're up in Nevada City, and so I was able to watch the game.
Excited to have this online, and so they can view it now and later, and people that can't be here. It's been a really cool thing.
It's a great experience. Anybody who's not had the opportunity to be here at the game, this brings the game to you.
On CoachesAid.com. That's CoachesAid.com.
Back here on the MPBA on CoachesAid.com. 5:57 for regulation. The St. Louis Riversharks 90. 86 for the Chicago Force. Here's a drive. Left baseline. Here comes a long deuce. Not there for Aaron Pryor. And oh boy, McGowan almost screwed that one up for the Riversharks. We're up by 4. It's McGowan to the lane. Acrobatic shot by Kelly McGowan. What a
great finish by McGowan. He got it tripped up a little bit.
Derek McDonald says right back at you with a great 18-footer.
He's got 9 in the quarter.
17 for the game. Actually, 19, for the game. 92-88. Run a couple of screens. Hogg misses plays. It's Pryor. He gets it to McDonald. McDonald will go up for the easy deuce. 92-90. Another high-scoring affair here in the MPBA. Just the way we like it here in the Midwest. Here's a drive. It's Hogg to the paint. Up. No. Rebound to Ware. Big.
Good help side there by Ware. He came off of Hicks and put the pressure. Hogg made it, took a tough shot, unable to get it to go.
Foul called as foul call.
Not sure if they gave that one to Evans or Leak. We'll check that one out.
Evans will get the foul, and let's take a break. 92-90. St. Louis trying to hang on against Chicago. 4:49 for the fourth. The MPBA on CoachesAid.com.
This is my son, Brett Finbloom, student athlete, community volunteer, college freshman. Ever heard of him? It was all there in his obituary. Brett died after just 2 hours of drinking. Not in a fall, not in a car crash. He drank too much, too fast. Brett died at a party from alcohol poisoning. Friends watched. A few tried to help, but no one called 911 until it was too late, afraid they'd be arrested for drinking.
If medical help is needed because of alcohol, call 911 immediately.
Stay until help arrives and cooperate. Minors who call for medical care and assist police cannot be charged with underage drinking.
It's Indiana's lifeline law. Make the call, get help, save a life.
Alcohol makes smart teens do stupid things. Stop it from becoming deadly. Make the call, get help, save a life.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Just keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive. And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
Back here on the MPBA on Coach's Aid, 92-90. The St. Louis Riversharks leading the Chicago Force. First of 2 for Derek McDonald is good. He is now up to 22.
What a fourth quarter.
Man, he has been hitting some shots in this stanza.
And he's really wanted the ball and done a nice job of getting position, as well as his teammates doing a good job finding him.
He gets the rebound, almost a three-point play. Derek McDonald showing that veteran leadership.
And a great save there by Pryor.
Yeah, that was Pryor to setting all of that up. But I tell you, Derek McDonald has been in the right place at the right time these last few possessions.
He has really been on it here. I'm just so impressed. You know, it was a pretty quiet game for him through 3, but he's been rock solid here in the fourth.
First of 2 ties this up at 92 with 4:46 for regulation. This is the second tie of this ball game. The back end to give the Force the lead. One more time, yes sir! 93-92 Chicago. Boy, where are the spirits of St. Louis when you need them? Good screen that time by Hicks as Polk has the basketball. McDonald over him like a cheap 2. Long 3 coming up. Oh, wow. Jeez. I told you, don't let the front door open, man. Come on. I mean, we already cold as it is. 4:31 to play for this one. Chicago is in the bonus from here on out. It's Smith with the basketball. Guarded by Polk. He's got McDonald again. Leak has him. McDonald, the turnaround Jay. Almost another three-point play. Derek McDonald has taken over this ball game for the Chicago Force.
He certainly has. And it's been a frustrating game for Terry Leak. He just had the air ball there a moment ago, And now he gets called for that foul. I think it's 4 on him.
That is 4 on Terry Leak.
And this is just a good matchup. The 6'5.5" Leak, 6'6" McDonald. McDonald has gotten the better of it here in the fourth quarter.
First of 2 for the former Porterville Junior College grad. Down and in. 94-92. Chicago has ripped off the last 8 points in succession.
And 15 of his 25 have come here in the fourth, making 16 out of his 26.
Backhand rims in and down. 95-92 Chicago. 4:14 for the game. Polk was looking for the high post screen. He'll hand it off now to McGowan for St. Louis in the blue. Good hip check. It is an illegal screen. It's on Hicks.
Yeah, that was pretty obvious right here in front of Ron Oleziak Jr. Hicks just stuck his hip out there, and, you know, that was just not a good play there for St. Louis.
Uh-oh. Hold up. The clock just went out. I'm hoping the power didn't go out, too. The clock just went out.
Boom, boom. Out go the lights.
All right, let's see what we got here. Great memory by the clock. 95-92 Chicago, 4:06 for the fourth quarter. We're here at the Ray and Joe Kroc Center in Chicago. Alvin Washington, Ted Rutan. Ted, we are seeing a slobber knocker between these two clubs.
It's just a barn burner. It's a real good game. We've seen different stars at different times in the game, and right now the star's been Derek McDonald.
Oh, there's a steal. That's Leak. Leak on the drive. Leak, no call. He'll drop that one in. Can't complain now. You got to play through it. 95-94 Chicago. Ware has the basketball across the timeline. He'll give it up to Pryor. Pryor backs away from Leak. Starts the push again. Pryor stops his dribble. He now has Smith on the other side. DeWitt set to come in a little bit. I think DeWitt still has 5. It is McDonald. Almost another three-point play. Derek McDonald is showing you why the MPBA is the showcase of Chicago's best talent.
That was a great cut down the lane by McDonald and a wonderful find from Ronnie Caldwell. Good post awareness. Caldwell hasn't scored much, but he has been effective when he gets the ball in the post. He draws the defense to him, and that time found the cutting McDonald. He's looking for more after he's already notched 26.
Leak with his 5th foul. First of 2 again for McDonald. Derek McDonald, 6'6". He is now up to, if I'm looking at that correctly,
he's got
27.
7 out of 8 from the line here in the fourth quarter.
Okay, 27 points. 17 here in the fourth quarter. He has made his name in this final stanza big time. Back in, no. Rebound McGowan. 96-94 Chicago, 3:23. Got one more break to go before this one's done. It's McGowan at the right wing. A long deuce is not there. The rebound to McDonald. Smith, long feed for Pryor. Left baseline for a 3, no. Rebound comes down to Hogg. Hogg on the drive. He's got Leak. No problem there. We're tied up. 96 all.
Great find by Hogg.
Leak with the bucket. Now it's Adams back the other way. Adams now has McDonald. 2:52. It is a turnaround J for Ware. Gone! Antoine B. Ware is everywhere. 98-96 Chicago.
And no, folks, that is not something crazy on your screen. Keith DeWitt is in. We were informed that he only had 5 fouls, not the 6.
There's a foul that time as Pryor slipped and stopped the push by Brandon Hogg, who's back to the line for 2 more. I tell you, Brandon Hogg, call it for what it's worth. This kid is indeed a true young lion of this league, sitting on 30 game-high points. Got 2 here to try and tie it up with 2.5 to play. First of 2 is up. No good. Timeout called by the Riversharks. Let's take a break. 98-96, Chicago back on top against St. Louis. This is the MPBA on CoachesAid.com.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Just keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive. And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
Back here on the MPBA on CoachesAid.com. A good one here late in the fourth quarter. The Chicago Force 98, the St. Louis Riversharks 96. 30 points on the board right now for the man coming back to the foul line, young Mr. Brandon Hogg of the St. Louis Riversharks. Meanwhile, how about 17 here in the fourth quarter for one Derek McDonald of the Chicago Force.
17 here in the fourth, total at 27. Just really taking over here in the fourth quarter, but it's also been a second half explosion by Brandon Hogg for the Riversharks. And Leak quietly has bumped up to 20 points. I mean, it seems like he has struggled all game, and he still has 20.
Back in for Hogg to try and make this a one-point game. That's no good. Rebound, Antoine Ware.
Hogg was 10 out of 12 from the line in the third, but missed that
a foul
clutch pair right there.
A foul on McGowan. For McGowan, that's his third. And with 2:24 to play here for the fourth quarter, Darius Smith out of UConn, first of two. Yes! 99-96. McGowan sits down. Dwayne Polk is back in.
Smith been fairly quiet here in the fourth.
That back end doesn't go. 3-point lead for Chicago. Hogg with the basketball for St. Louis in the blue. Here comes DeWitt. Driving on the baseline. Hook shot is good. Good one for DeWitt. 99-98. DeWitt now, I believe, with 5. Feed inside to Caldwell. Gets around the baseline. He travels. And it's a good thing, because that easily could have been a hook call, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was going to say that's not a bad call for him, because it could call him for the foul, which at this point wouldn't have made much difference. Both teams are in the bonus if they would have been shooting.
But it would have been an offensive foul.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Here comes 3 from Hogg. Count it!
That was a big-time shot.
From way down by the Scott Trade Center. 101-99 Riversharks. Drive to the right side. Here is Smith. Going inside. Here's a hook shot. Not there. Tap in. Not there for Caldwell. And slowly but surely they're coming down toward the wire. 96 to play. Hogg has it. Hogg brings it out with 14 to shoot. Hogg guarded by Smith. Looking for the high post screen. Caldwell bumps him. Poked away. Who's got it? Who's got it?
Let's see who the call is.
I think it's going to be on Antoine Ware here. I believe that's who it will be on. Yes, because Ware was the one underneath of all of that, and normally the underneath man is the one that gets the call.
Yeah, he kind of took the legs out of Evans right there. I think it was a pretty good call.
You know, that's usually common knowledge. So, Terry Evans out of Wisconsin Green Bay, first of 2 is good. 102-99 St. Louis. This has been a back and forth battle between these young clubs.
18 for Evans.
Back in is, yes, 103-99. Minute 20 to play, still anybody's ball game. Inbound, who's gonna get it? Timeout. Quick 20-second timeout. We'll keep it here. 103-99. The St. Louis Riversharks lead the Chicago Force. Let's take a look at the CoachesAid.com leaders on the floor. For the Force, 27 for Derek McDonald. I'm looking at 17 for Tremel Adams. And
although he has not scored here in the fourth quarter.
For the Riversharks, 33. Game high for Brandon Hogg, who has lit the second half up with 24 points. Backing him up, Terry Evans. Should I say Terry Leak? He's got 20. And a key 19 from Terry Evans.
Big three scoring for the Riversharks. And they also have 15 from Kenny McGowan. He had 13 off the bench in that first half. Only has one bucket here in the fourth.
But he has been just like Darius Smith was in the first half, a defensive specialist. Sometimes to the Force's detriment because, again, you can't throw rec league passes in a league like this. That's just not going to fly.
These guys are playing some D. I mean, I know it's the game's at 100, but they're playing some D, and Evans is going to get a foul and a tech.
A foul and a technical on Terry Evans. So he's got 4 plus a technical. So young Mr. Aaron Pryor has that chance to put 3 on the board first. Oh, the technical does not go. This is where you make your money at, right here.
Free throws. Going into the fourth, the Force were 16 out of 25, while the Riversharks were 25 out of 33. So a 9-point advantage from the line through the first 3 quarters.
Now it's up to Derek McDonald to bring this lead down to 2. McDonald has been solid this quarter. From the line, 7 of 9. 8 of 10. 103-100. Jason Warren back in. He'll sit down. Antoine Ware. What a great game for Ware. Even though it doesn't show up on the score sheet, what he's been able to do as a presence.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely been a force in the middle.
Back in, it's not there. 103-100. Hogg with the basketball for St. Louis, guarded by Pryor. St. Louis is in the blue, and that's another 2 shots coming up for Hogg. Pryor will pick up the foul. It sounds like his 5th foul.
Yeah, I believe that is 5. Again, that was a veteran move right there by Brandon Hogg. Somebody who's so confident down the stretch that he's just pulling the string, seeing that Pryor wanted to put some pressure on.
First of 2 is good. 104-100 St. Louis. A minute 8 to play.
When he felt Pryor getting closer and closer, he just accelerated right into him. And right in front of the official, they had to call that.
Backhand coming up for Hogg. Up and through. 105-100 with 108 to play here in regulation. Coming down to the wire.
13 out of 17 from the line for Brandon Hogg, 35 points.
Here is Warren with a shot that's not there. Warren with the tip, hot potato, nothing. We're inside the CoachesAid.com final minute, and I think the Force may have run out of gas. Up there it is. DeWitt, gotcha, and the foul.
Good patience there. Leak got the rebound, waited, knew the possession was more important, found Evans. DeWitt able to go ahead and finish that one. Notice that time he kept that high. Count it, put him on the line.
It's a 98-96 advantage as DeWitt makes the free pass. St. Louis has outscored Chicago in this sequence 12-2. Oh, that one over the top of the backboard, but but more importantly, on the right side of us.
Terry Evans went down with the ankle.
Terry Evans.
His right ankle, he twisted it right there.
Ooh, and he's standing on it. That's a tough ball player.
Well, you want to try to walk it off if you can.
This kid is tough.
Oh, he's definitely tough.
I'll put him right now, my all-Ironman team right now to get up from that.
And this one is just about over.
Man, near steal, and look at him. Look at Evans. Evans gets it to Polk with 35 to play. Polk driving through the defense. I tell you, the Force had their chances, but not turnovers. Yes, that'll do it. And the foul.
Good find there. Evans saw Leak cutting across. The reverse. Draw the contact. Count it. And put him on the line.
In the last 2 minutes and 3 seconds, the Riversharks have ripped off a 14-2 run to seal this one and get their third straight win of the year. Terry Leak, the free pass, no. However, the rebound to Evans. He'll get it to Smith. Smith with 25 to play, and again, another rec league pass. That's hurt Chicago tonight.
Just careless at times, ball handling, and the Riversharks, they're trying to steal, and not just steal, but they want to steal and convert. And their conversions off of those turnovers, along with their ability to get to the free throw line, has been the difference.
Your CoachesAid.com player of the game, no doubt. It is the big fella, Brandon Hogg, 6'1", out of Southern Indiana. 35 points. Gosh. He has come up big when it was necessary.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's 26 here in the second half. And you know, we got to mention Derek McDonald as well. I mean, he has 18 here in the fourth quarter for his 28. Evans, been a force on the board. Leak, slow start. He's got 22. It's really been the big three offensively for the Riversharks here in the second half.
16.8 to play here in the game. The first one of two for Terry Evans out of Wisconsin Green Bay is no good. The back end coming up. Eyes it. Skies it. Good night. 100, excuse me.
20 for Evans.
Another disappointing loss for Chicago. And the question, wow. That should wrap this one up. Down to 7 seconds. Evans will just hang on to it. 3, 2, 1. A back and forth battle if there ever was one, but a 15-2 run in the last 2.5 of this game sealed it up for the St. Louis Riversharks, who are now 3-0 thanks to a 111-100 victory over the Chicago Force, spoiling the Force's franchise home opener. Again, your CoachesAid.com player of the game, young Mr. Brandon Hogg, number 21 for the Riversharks, with 35 points. Back in a moment for the postgame. This is the MPBA on CoachesAid.com.
I'll see if I can get him to come over here.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive. And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
back here on our coverage of the MPBA at CoachesAid.com. Final from Chicago. A great first game in this, the Kroc Center. 111-100. The St. Louis Riversharks remain undefeated at 3-0 while dropping the second straight loss on the Chicago Force. This is the Coach's Aid post-game report brought to you by CoachesAid.com, the official broadcaster of the Midwest Professional Basketball Association. Alvin Washington backcourt side with Ted Rattan. And Ted, man, this was a great way to inaugurate the MPBA here in Chicago.
Oh, yeah, it was a fantastic game. A great start for the Riversharks. The Force came back, caught up, took the lead in the second quarter, maintained it through most of the third, but at the end of the third quarter, the Riversharks were able to catch and take the lead going in to the fourth. And it was the man we're going to talk to here in a little bit, Brandon Hogg, leading the way for the Riversharks. Let's go over the scoring here real quick. First, for the Chicago Force, they were led, of course, by Derek McDonald. He had 28-18 there in a dominating fourth quarter performance. 17 for Trammell Adams. He, though, did not score in the fourth. It was pretty much a one-man show for the Force in that fourth quarter. 10 for Darius Smith, 11 for Jason Warren, and 9 for Antoine Ware. 7 for Sam McWhorter, 4 for Brandon Price, and 3 for Ronnie Caldwell. For the St. Louis Riversharks, of course, we've already mentioned 35 game-high points from Brandon Hogg, 26 of those in the second half. 22 for Terry Leak, 20 for James Hicks, 15 and a big boost off the bench by Kenny McGowan, 6 for foul-ridden center Keith DeWitt, 5 for James Hicks, 4 for Dwayne Polk, and a pair for Torres Roundtree.
Let's take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have our CoachesAid.com player of the game, Brandon Hogg of the St. Louis Riversharks, remain undefeated. 111-100, the Riversharks knock off the Chicago Force. The MPBA on CoachesAid.com.
With your attention, please. You can watch live streaming.
It's a great thing. It was fun yesterday because we're up in Nevada City, and so I was able to watch the game.
Excited to have this online, and so they can view it now and later, and people that can't be here. It's been a really cool thing.
It's a great experience. Anybody who's not had the opportunity to be here at the game, this brings the game to you.
On CoachesAid.com. That's CoachesAid.com.
This is my son, Brett Finbloom, student athlete, community volunteer, college freshman. Ever heard of him? It was all there in his obituary. Brett died after just 2 hours of drinking. Not in a fall, not in a car crash. He drank too much, too fast. Brett died at a party from alcohol poisoning. Friends watched. A few tried to help, but no one called 911 until it was too late, afraid they'd be arrested for drinking.
If medical help is needed because of alcohol, call 911 immediately.
Stay until help arrives and cooperate. Minors who call for medical care and assist police cannot be charged with underage drinking.
It's Indiana's lifeline law. Make the call, get help, save a life.
Alcohol makes smart teens do stupid things. Stop it from becoming deadly. Make the call, get help, save a life.
Back here on the MPBA on CoachesAid.com. Great one here at the Kroc Center in Chicago. 111-100 to final. The St. Louis Riversharks remain undefeated with a big victory over the Chicago Force. We're inside the CoachesAid.com post-game report. I'm Alvin Washington. The man next to me is our player of the game, presented by CoachesAid.com, Brandon Hogg out of Southern Indiana. 35 points for the Riversharks. Welcome to the post-game show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I've got to hand it to you. The early start you had in this contest with 9 points, it looked like the Riversharks were going to run away with this, but then all of a sudden, you got cold in the second quarter. What adjustments did you make at halftime to get you back in the flow and those 26 second-half points?
Well, I just tried to start the game off aggressive and got a little bit too overly aggressive on the defensive end, picked up 3 fouls, so I had to sit out the whole second quarter. So coming in at the halftime, I was well rested, and I knew what I needed to help my team get back in the game, just being aggressive.
Not only that, but your fellow big man, Keith DeWitt, spent a lot of time on the bench, and it really didn't help matters, especially when the Force were able to get that lead.
Right.
The adjustment you made at the end of the third quarter to get the lead back, how important was that?
It was big. As you can see, when they went up and took the lead, the crowd got into it. We knew it was going to be a hostile environment coming to Chicago, so we knew they weren't going to just give it to us. So we just had to claw our way back out. Coach kept repeating to us in the huddle to climb that mountain, and we just got over that mountain, and we finally took over the game.
The final timeout at 2:30 remaining in the fourth quarter. You guys were down 2 points. You ripped off 14 of the last 16. What focus was there in that last 2.5-minute push to put you guys on top and remain undefeated?
Well, it's just how hard we practice and how Coach makes us go in the game. So I realized that big guys were getting a little tired. They gave a good challenge today, and I realized the big guys get tired. So we pretty much put them in a ball screen, get them in the blender, and just attack the rim. You know, they were a little bit slow to help, and we just got to the free throw line, knocked them down, and we just stayed consistent with that through the whole second half.
Talking right now with Brandon Hogg of the St. Louis Riversharks, our CoachesAid.com player of the game with 35 points, 111-100. The Riversharks stay undefeated, knocking off the Chicago Force. Terry Leak, Terry Evans, two equally important young men. Leak with 22, Evans bringing up the rear with 20. Their length really has been key to this early start by the Riversharks.
Yes. Coach said when he was coming to recruit, he likes to recruit long guys and athletic, and they disrupted a lot on the defensive end, and we got a few fast breaks, got them some good looks, so that played to our advantage today.
Don't call this man a ball hog. Brandon Hogg, our CoachesAid.com player of the game, 35 points, 26 in the second half. They were key to helping the St. Louis Riversharks remain undefeated, 111-100 over the Chicago Force here at the Kroc Center, Chicago. Brandon, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good
I
luck
appreciate
tomorrow in your big game down the road.
Yes, sir.
Don't move. More after this. This is the MPBA on CoachesAid.com.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive. And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
With your attention, please. You can watch live streaming.
It's a great thing. It was fun yesterday because we're up in Nevada City, and so I was able to watch the game.
Excited to have this online, and so they can view it now and later, and people that can't be here. It's been a really cool thing.
It's a great experience. Anybody who's not had the opportunity to be here at the game, this brings the game to you.
On CoachesAid.com. That's CoachesAid.com.
This is my son, Brett Finbloom, student athlete, community volunteer, college freshman. Ever heard of him? It was all there in his obituary. Brett died after just 2 hours of drinking. Not in a fall, not in a car crash. He drank too much, too fast. Brett died at a party from alcohol poisoning. Friends watched. A few tried to help, but no one called 911. Until it was too late, afraid they'd be arrested for drinking.
If medical help is needed because of alcohol, call 911 immediately.
Stay until help arrives and cooperate. Minors who call for medical care and assist police cannot be charged with underage drinking.
It's Indiana's lifeline law. Make the call, get help, save a life.
Alcohol makes smart teens do stupid things. Stop it from becoming deadly. Make the call, get help, save a life.
Back here on coverage of the MPBA on CoachesAid.com. Final from the Kroc Center. 111-100, the St. Louis Riversharks knock off the Chicago Force records on the board. The Riversharks are now 3-0. The Force dropped to 0-2. Alvin Washington back with Terry Rattan here courtside, and boy, that was definitely folks' money's worth that first game.
Oh, definitely. It was a great matchup, back and forth all the way. And again, individual performances. The Riversharks just had a little bit too much down the stretch. 35
game-high points from our CoachesAid.com player of the game, Brandon Hogg. 22 from Terry Lee, 20 from Terry Evans. On the reverse for the Chicago Force, Derek McDonald, 28 points, 18 in that fourth quarter. 11 from Jason Warren, 10 from Darius Smith, 17 from Tremel Adams. Folks, that'll do it from right here. Thanks to the great folks from the Salvation Army for allowing us to bring you this first game here at this great facility, the Kroc Center. Coming up at 6:05, it is the debut of the Windy City Crew. They'll take on the Gateway Steam. Yours truly, Alvin Washington, with Terry Rattan on the call. Until next time, we thank everybody in the house for coming on through. We thank you for watching. This has been the MPBA on Coaches Aid. Until then, we say so long from Chicago, and take care, everybody.